Eddie sends out Dugtrio on an attempted snipe attempt unsuccessful, and out comes Zygarde. And I bet this is a matchup you never thought you'd see in the Ultra League. Dugtrio farms up, fires off the Iron Head. Zygarde thinks it's thick, but instantly rocked below the half health range. Dugtrio smelling blood in the water, gonna invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the outrage. And look at Dugtrio go. These mud slaps doing crazy damage. Eddie farms up, fires off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb forced the final Protect Shield, and right on cue, there's the catch. Back onto Grumpig as Dugtrio looks to close the show. Outrage removes Grumpig from the field of play. The opponent sends out Sizzle, feed Dugtrio yet further energy. Dugtrio wins the race and is a Zygarde counter confirmed. Welcome back to the channel. Buckle up, because today we have an absolute banger of a battle submission from Eddieofdoom. This will be, without a doubt, the most crazy battle submission you'll ever see in the Open Ultra League. Eddie, unlike a lot of other trainers that have already hit legend rank, isn't trying to run some basic, boring, absolute shitty line trying to gatekeep other people trying to rank up. What he's doing is putting together a team of 3 perfect, fully maxed out 100% IV shadow Pokemon. The star of the show is Dugtrio with its stupid little wig on. The Alolan variant, honestly, what the heck is that Pokemon design? But let's not get distracted. This Pokemon, even fully maxed out at level 50, reached a very underwhelming 2145 CP. Curiosity got the better of me, and so I went over to pvpoke and thought, what does Dugtrio beat in the Ultra League? Unfortunately, you can't even see that because it is not even ranked in the Ultra League rankings. pvpoke like, nah bro, this is definitely not something you can run. Its stat product is around 2500, which ironically is lower than a Great League Bastiodon or Great League Carbink, similar to something like Mandibuzz or Umbreon when they're powered up to 1500 combat power. Despite pvpoke not believing in it and missing out on its rankings, it's actually got a little party trick. It's got a 182.5 attack stat that is very similar to a fully maxed out Primeape and far higher than glass cannons such as Zapdos and Charizard respectively. So despite its very minimal stat product, let me tell you, this thing is going to hit like an absolute truck. Team partners today are going to be Grumpig, giving the team some much needed bulk, and Garbodor running that Hail Mary gunk shot, looking to get them one shots. With all that being said, without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, Dugtrio off to a good start as it finds itself a target in the form of the Steel Penguin. Look at these mud slaps go. It is absolutely ridiculous damage. I wonder if 2 further mud slaps knock out. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. But look at Dugtrio, able to trap the opponent into the charge attack priority. They do not win and force our Protect Shield back. Clearly the opponent must be weak to Dugtrio as they're staying in such a poor matchup, so Eddie happy to double shield, fully mud slap farm down, and out comes Virizion. Virizion going to be greeted with the Iron Head. Iron Head gets little respect and leaves a very solid dent in Virizion's HP, and we see the save switch into Garbodor. Unless this Virizion's running Stone Edge, Garbodor going to fully wall the moveset. Clearly the opponent hasn't got it as we've got no shields and they're opting to go straight Leaf Blade. Garbodor shrugs off the first Leaf Blade, shrugs off the second Leaf Blade. The opponent remains on Eddie's screen, so he's going to see if Gunk Shot gets its first one shot. Gunk Shot removes Virizion from the field of play. Get that Virizion off my screen, and out comes Florges. Eddie going to settle for the Seed Bomb before we get knocked out by the Chilling Water, and the opponent craps their pants, putting up the final protection of the game. The opponent continuing to overfarm, allowing Garbodor to reach one further Seed Bomb. Let's be honest, that was quite underwhelming damage, but all chip damage is welcome. Florges unable to farm down, forced to dump a Chilling Water. We send out Grumpig, farm up, make the catch. Back onto Dugtrio. Was it necessary? Not particularly, but it's still kind of funny, and this game is completely over. The opponent can full send a Moonblast. Grumpig, respectively bulky, shrugs off the damage, reaches the Shadow Ball, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. And just like that, Eddieofdoom is off to a 1-0 start. Heading into the next battle, we are running it back. The opponent safe switch into Florges. I'm actually going to tag pvpoke on Twitter. How can you not rank Dugtrio in the Ultra League when clearly it is core-breaking teams left, right, and centre? We saw the opponent safe switch into Florges. We counter-swapping Garbodor. Despite being a poison type, we're running Infestation as a quick move, so we're not really in the best position. The opponent even shielded the Gunk Shot, which was at -2, and I imagine wouldn't have got the one shot. We're going to be happy to take our shield advantage here in the mid-game matchup. Switch advantage has been lost, but little does the opponent know, we really don't need switch whatsoever, as that Steel Penguin has nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. We send back out Dugtrio, fire off the Iron Head, removing Florges from the field of play. Out comes Kommo-o. We farm up, bank the Mud Bomb, and look to make a catch what should be an upper hand back onto Grumpig. Upper hand doesn't do much of anything, and the Steel Penguin re-enters the arena. Eddieofdoom finds himself in a commanded position, still with 2 shields high behind. Going to invest 1, blocking up the incoming Hydro Cannon. Is then going to overfarm and rip off the first Dynamic Punch. The opponent only 1 shield high behind. Where do they invest it? They invest a Protect Shield, blocking up the first Dynamic Punch, but Grumpig says there's plenty more of where that came from. The second one's locked and loaded. There's another 1-hit KO. A quick switch back into Dugtrio. We rip off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb rocks Kommo-o deep into the red health range. The opponent recognise they cannot win the match and they're going to run for the hills. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle. Oh, hello Galarian Weezing. Nice to see you nice. The opponent safe switch into Lapras, and we have one of the best counter swaps in the form of Grumpig. Lapras is a monster because Psywave is a very, very good quick move. However, unfortunately, against other psychic types, it makes it very, very underwhelming. I think if I was Eddie here, I'd tank 1 move, shield 1 move, and commit to the full Psywave farm down. Let's see if Eddie has the same idea. We shield at the Ice Beam, so Lapras potentially there could have flip switched, but Eddie like, nah, I am not giving up this beautiful alignment. Back out comes Galarian Weezing, the Shadow Ball's locked and loaded. Shadow Ball able to land, and the Psywaves put the opponent below the half health range. The opponent unable to overfarm and force dump energy. As soon as they get it, they fire off the sludge, removing us from the field of play. We send back out Dugtrio, and out comes Guzzlord. Guzzlord going to be greeted with the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb forces the opponent's first Protect Shield, and here comes Garbodor. This is definitely one of the very few matchups in the Ultra League where Infestation as a quick move is actually doing decent damage. Eddie just settles for the Seed Bomb. The thing is, who even knows Garbodor's moveset? We are a poison type, so potentially forced the final Protect Shield. Unfortunately, no such luck. The opponent shrugs off the damage, and Seed Bomb did not do much of anything. Garbodor tanks the Brutal Swing, fires off 1 further Seed Bomb. Again, not going to do much of anything, but does allow us to switch out afterwards. Dugtrio looks to close the show. Still with shields high behind. Going to be investing here. The question now becomes, can Guzzlord reach 1 further move? They cannot. Dugtrio able to Mud Slap farm down. Back out comes Weezing. Weezing also going to get Mud Slap farm down, and Dugtrio cleans up. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, this time we see Lapras in the lead position. I have zero doubt in mind that a Sparkle Aria would probably kill this Dugtrio and every Dugtrio that's ever entered the Go Battle League. We strike first, firing off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb, holy man, this thing hits incredibly hard. Instantly puts Lapras below the half health range. We block up the incoming Sparkle Aria. Dugtrio farms up. We attempt to make a catch. Catch didn't look the cleanest, but the opponent does look to dump energy. It starts to make sense why the opponent went for a chip and dip, as they send out Virizion, which of course isn't great into a psychic type. They're a fighter, of course. They fire off the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade simply does not cut it. We're going to farm up, fire off the Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch forces the opponent's first protection. The opponent is going to have to dump yet another move, or we're going to reach Dynamic Punch number 2. The opponent trying to double kick farm down Grumpig, but Grumpig able to reach the last second Dynamic Punch. And here comes Garbodor to operate as a team's damage sponge. Does this opponent have Stone Edge? Yes, they do, and Stone Edge does land for heavy, heavy neutral damage. Back out comes Lapras. Garbodor going to fire off the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb, not the best move, but does remove Lapras from the field of play. Virizion very unlikely to return. With that in mind, the opponent sends out Drampa. Dugtrio re-enters the arena. Going to be investing the Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Swift. Swift is resisted, but trust me, with a 2,500 stat product, you're kind of forced to shield everything. Dugtrio farms up, fires off the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb removes Drampa from the field of play. Back out comes Virizion. Eddie settles for the Mud Bomb. Is Mud Bomb enough to knock out? It is not. Quick switch back into Garbodor. Garbodor able to reach the Seed Bomb on what looks like to be a charge attack priority. Oof, that is one sweaty endgame, but Eddie gets it done and able to emerge victorious. GG's to both trainers. Heading into the next battle, we see Cradily in the lead position. If this opponent's on Acid, which they are, this is a very, very nice lead for us. We're taking absolutely minimal fast move pressure. These Acids are triple resisted, as ground resists poison and steel. I guess according to the main series game is immune, but there's no immunity in Pokemon Go, therefore double resisted. We fire off the Iron Head. Iron Head removes Cradily from the field of play, and out comes Florges. Dugtrio, 1 Mud Slap, and the Mud Bomb for optimal fast move timing. Mud Bomb force our Protect Shield back. We then farm up, attempt to chill in Water Catch. Catch attempt unsuccessful, and out comes Gastrodon. Gastrodon might think it's Fable into Garbodor, but if they don't know about the Seed Bomb coverage, they're about to find out. Seed Bomb, double super effective, puts the opponent down to around a third health, a couple of further infestations, and the next Seed Bomb on CMP, winning CMP, forces the final protection of the game. The opponent goes for the Body Slam. Body Slam doesn't get the job done. The opponent able to Mud Slap Farm down, but we can send out Grumpig, and Grumpig can just absorb all of this energy. The opponent going to fire off the Earth Power. Earth Power able to land for heavy neutral damage. The opponent goes to the Wham Bam combo play, fire off the Chilling Water. We reset our debuff and send Dugtrio back into the arena. Dugtrio still that shield to hide behind. Going to be investing it here, blocking up the incoming Chilling Water. Dugtrio now at -1. But if you think that's going to save Florges, it certainly will not. Ironhead removes them from the field of play. Back out comes Gastrodon. Dugtrio able to survive the Mud Slaps. In turn, Mud Slap farm down Gastrodon, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, Eddieofdoom is the algorithm confirmed as little Wiggy over here stares down Magnezone, although we're not in the best position here. What the heck do we do against Trevenant? We save switch into Garbodor. Oof, instantly get rocked with a Shadow Ball. Okay, we're looking in a good spot, but now things are starting to get dicey. We're actually able to force a Protect Shield, which I guess at least is something. I'm still not entirely sure how Eddieofdoom is going to get rid of this Trevenant, but I guess we'll find out. The opponent actually full send a Shadow Ball there. Trainer, that is so bloody unnecessary. Seed Bomb would have knocked us out. We overfarm, fire off the Ironhead. Ironhead removes Trevenant from the field of play. What happened there? The opponent went for the classic U-switch, I-switch. I didn't actually see what the third is, but we now have Grumpig aligned against Magnezone. We fire off the Dynamic Punch, able to force the opponent's final Protect Shield. Grumpig going to be investing in Protect Shield. Correctly shield up the Wild Charge. Eddieofdoom going to waste no time. Fire off the Dynamic Punch, and have no doubt Dynamic Punch will be removing Magnezone from the field of play. Out comes Gyarados. How the heck do we win this game? Hold up. Wait. Is this a full send of a crunch? Holy shit. Oh, they're not Shadow. Surely Shadow Ball doesn't one-shot. Question mark. Shadow Ball doesn't one-shot. Can we saw away farm down? Oh my gosh. What an end game. I thought we were doomed. But ironically, Eddieofdoom gets it done. Very, very well played, my friend. In the next battle, we see Florges in the lead position, despite us being a Steel type and them being a Fairy. This is probably advantageous for them, as they've got access to Chilling Water, they outpace, and have no doubt it'll probably knock out, despite being non-stab. Eddieofdoom invests the Protect Shield, full sends the Ironhead, guaranteeing our Protect Shield back, and then makes the catch, catching the next Chilling Water onto Garbodor. The opponent safe switches into Belly Bolt. If I've missed this thing, I'm kidding. This thing is the bane of my life. Such a boring, bulky, slow, dumbass Pokemon. I'm going to keep ranting. Probably get demonetized for the second straight video, but honestly, I don't give a shit. I think both Zygarde and Belly Bolt are for trainers with no skill. I said exactly what I said. If you don't like it, feel free to unsubscribe. We bank the Ironhead, make the pivot into Grumpig. Grumpig should fully wall the moveset unless the opponent has got Dazzling Gleam. We respect it. Unfortunately, shield up a Psyshock, and I think this one might end in defeat. Although I said that last time. Okay, we forced a protection with a Dynamic Punch. I think we're actually good here. The opponent can full send a Moonblast if they wish. They actually settle for the Chilling Water. Chilling Water simply does not cut it. We've got the Ironhead banked. And case in point, I said that Belly Bolt trainers are brain dead. Look at this opponent. They've got completely nonsense try-hard meta, and it's still going to be not enough to get the job done. The opponent went for an undercharge. Trainer, we've got a move banked. The opponent playing out to the very bitter end. Guess what? We've got that Ironhead locked and loaded. It's going to be high Togekiss, buy Togekiss. Try hard meta nil. Eddieofdoom 1. Have a bit of that. Stick it in your pipe and smoke it. GG's, and thanks for playing. Honestly, I wonder why I keep getting demonetized, but let's be honest. My love for Pokemon Go is very much dying. Nowadays, I just post content that I like. I shoutcast how I like. I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm not trying to work for Play Pokemon. We're just having fun. It's not for everyone, but I enjoy what I do. It's kind of funny that a couple of my videos recently have not only been demonetized, but people have unsubscribed, probably because they don't agree with some of the stuff I say. Get yourself over to Homesize Henry, Axon, Dan Otter's channel. That's the kind of nicey content that you're probably looking for. On that note, unlike a lot of other content creators, I don't post YouTube videos to try and get rich. This channel, even when I actually get a video monetized, makes very little revenue. I kind of just do it for the fun, and I'm appreciative for everyone that enjoys what I do. I'm well aware that I've not actually responded to too many comments or been that active on Discord. I'm sure a lot of you know that I'm a manager at university, which is very, very full on. I've just started training again. I'm considering making a boxing comeback, so that is also very full on. So kind of time for Pokemon Go is very, very limited. I see a lot of people get super tilted trying to rank up. The best advice I'm going to give, you might think, why should you listen to me? You don't have to, but I'm going to give my advice anyway. Get yourself outdoors, try and get some exercise in. Stuff like that just comes in completely clutch and does wonders for your mental health. I recently broke up with a partner that I'd been with for many, many years. She also had kids. I got very attached, and to be honest, I did feel super depressed, but now I'm back outdoors a lot, running, training, boxing, etc. I feel absolutely on top of the world. On the subject of mental health, honestly, if anyone isn't feeling fantastic right now, feel free to reach out, and I promise you, despite me being very busy, I will make time for you. We can have a chat, do whatever you like, we can play some random Pokemon on stream. Sometimes a problem shared is a problem halved. In the next battle, we see Alolan Sandslash in the lead position, another very nice lead for us, or at least with shields to hide behind. The opponent obtain themselves a shield advantage before pivoting into Cresselia. This definitely shouldn't be a great matchup for Cresselia, but this is where stat product comes into play. You can see them confusions didn't look all that resisted. I'm a big fan of what Eddie did there. We've landed one Mud Bomb, which should put Cresselia in a range. We only need to land one single Shadow Ball to remove them from the field of play. The Shadow Ball's locked. It's loaded. Big bad Cresselia. Invest the Protectional. The opponent then save Cresselia and send back out Sandslash. Sandslash going to be greeted with the Dynamic Punch, which is double super effective and force the final Protection of the game. The opponent doesn't commit to the full farm down. Look to dump energy, which is probably like a best case scenario. Dugtrio re-enters the arena. We farm up, try for the Ice Punch catch attempt unsuccessful. We've now got a decision to make. Eddieofdoom going to invest to Protect Shield, correctly shield the drill run before getting a very, very nice infestation farm down, leaving with a bucketload of energy, good to go. Out comes Ampharos. Ampharos is unshielded. Does Gunk Shot get the one shot? Gunk Shot! Bang! Oh, not quite a bang. The opponent survives on fractional HP. The opponent fire off the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing simply does not cut it. Back out comes Cresselia. Cresselia going to be greeted with the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb won't get the job done, but we're going to give the opponent that wham, bam, combo play. Serve up the Big Mac and the fries. And Mud Bomb is going to be all she wrote. GG's that opponent. Heading into the next battle. If I can manage to recompose myself, we see Dugtrio, oh god, into Gastrodon. What the heck do we do here? Probably say, Garbodor, go quickly. We do exactly that. Garbodor also taking super effective from the Mud Slaps. We've got access to Seed Bomb that in turn is double super effective. And land of that damage is absolutely huge for us. The opponent looking for the full Mud Slap farm down. Garbodor holds strong and going to gain a shield advantage in this type disadvantage matchup, which of course is a best case scenario. This Gastrodon is completely loaded, so how are we going to look to sponge this energy? Tank the first move, hoping the opponent go for the Body Slam bait. Unfortunately, full send the Water Ball, so this again could be a Water Ball. So we are going to go for the one shield before looking for the sideway farm down afterwards. Grumpig able to do exactly that, leaving with residual energy good to go. The opponent sends out Scizor. Scizor going to be greeted with the Dynamic Punch. Dynamic Punch, oh my god, went unshielded. Who doesn't shield Shadow Scizor? We attempt to snipe with Dugtrio. Snipe attempt unsuccessful. And out comes Zygarde. Dugtrio farms up, fires off the Iron Head. Zygarde, you sir might think you're thick, but Dugtrio might have a little something to say about that. Dugtrio invests the Protect Shield, blocking up the Outrage. Look at the Mud Slap damage go. It is absolutely disgusting. Dugtrio farms up, unleashes the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Right on cue, there's the catch. Back onto Grumpig as Dugtrio looks to close the show. Outrage removes us from the field of play. The opponent pivots into Scizor just to feed us free energy. Dugtrio gonna win the race to the Mud Bomb and his Optimus Prime / Zygarde counter confirmed. You heard it here first. GG's and thanks for playing. What a satisfying shoutcast this is. We've seen Bellybolt get wrecked and now Zygarde too. In the next battle, we found ourselves a problem and his name is Corviknight. How the heck does this team beat Corviknight? This is probably GG's. Eddieofdoom looking to make the best of a dire situation, lands the Dynamic Punch before baiting out Bellybolt. Things have kind of gone from bad to worse. Grumpig looking to make the best of a dire situation, able to land the Dynamic Punch, the opponent continuing to farm up, allowing us to reach yet another Dynamic Punch, which does force the first protection of the game and its CMP. I really am not going to write Eddieofdoom off, but I've got no idea what our path forward is. We send out Dugtrio. Dugtrio able to get the full Mud Slap farm down. Corviknight likely returns, and it does exactly that. We're going to call the opponent false as a payback. Okay, that's a huge shield. Mud Bomb is single resisted, but this thing with 185, 182.5 attacks, that I should say, is still going to do decent damage. We attempt to catch onto Garbodor. Out comes Regidrago. There is one Wincon. This going unshielded, please, trainer, please. It's just a Seed Bomb. It is just a Seed Bomb. No, it lands, it lands, it lands. Okay, I think we win, right? Do we win? Maybe? Question mark? I've got no idea. Dugtrio. Can you Mud Slap farm down a flyer? In Dugtrio, I believe. Please, Dugtrio. Please, please, please. This will be one of the best wins I've ever seen in the Go Battle League. The opponent fire off the air cutter bait, unable to reach another move. And Eddieofdoom does indeed pick up a win. Wow. Heading into the next battle. The problematic leads continue. I'm not even saying anything. I'm just not writing Eddieofdoom off. Eddieofdoom is the GOAT. We save switch into Garbodor, fire off the Seed Bomb, which unfortunately doesn't land. However, we're not going to be in Hydro Cannon range. Unless the opponent's got Earthquake, we should survive any one move. The opponent fire off the Hydro Cannon, remain on our screen. We fire off yet another Seed Bomb. And Garbodor, oh my god, it's CMP2, able to force both Protect Shields and dump Swampert energy. Eddieofdoom is just on an absolute tear up here. What a crazy turn of events. We've somehow managed to muster up a 2-0 shield advantage, leading Dugtrio into Swampert. The opponent tries to catch Dynamic Punch onto Togekiss, catch attempt unsuccessful. We tank the Psyshock, return fire with the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball lands for heavy neutral damage into the unshielded Togekiss. Eddieofdoom farms up, gonna fire off the Dynamic Punch, and at this point, Dynamic Punch will be moving Togekiss from the field of play. Down goes Togekiss. We've still got 2 shields to hide behind. What could go wrong? Out comes Sylveon, and I think this is just game over. We're going to land the Shadow Ball. Even if the opponent went for the catch, Shadow Ball would have probably knocked out Swampert. We make the pivot back into Dugtrio. We've still got 2 shields to hide behind. Despite these Mud Shots being super effective, a Mud Shot really not known for its fast move pressure. The opponent throws a Hydro Cannon, throw Hydro Cannon number 2 on alignment, and that is going to be the final nail in this opponent's coffin. Dugtrio able to get the full Mud Slap farm down, leaving with the Iron Head. The opponent doesn't want to get Iron Headed to the face, and they concede the match. GG's, and thanks for playing. And much to my disappointment, that is going to wrap things up for today's video. Shout out to Eddieofdoom. That might actually be my favourite shoutcast of all time. That was so much fun. As I said, kind of touched upon in the video, I'm not really playing too much Pokemon Go anymore. The kind of love for it's kind of dwindled in. I don't really know why, to be honest. I'm kind of bored of the game and super bored of content too. If I saw another upload with someone going like, oh, this top 5 pvpoke pick is a monster. No fucking shit, Sherlock. We're all aware. It is so boring to watch. I guess that's just kind of how things go. When you're one of the OGs, been playing this game since pre-season, sometimes it gets boring. But I'm sure you'll agree if you made it to this point in the video, this was far from boring. Enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.